I never thought the day I turned 21 would be the day. My mother finally told me the truth, and it shattered everything I thought I knew about our family. My name is Emily. And growing up, my mother was the kind of woman everyone admired. She was calm, composed, always put together. The type of mom who baked cookies for school events and never raised her voice, even when I was at my worst as a teenager. People used to tell me how lucky I was to have her. And I believed them. I believed my life was normal, that my family was normal, that the quiet tension I sometimes felt in our house was just something every family had. For 21 years, I lived inside a story my mother had carefully built for me. And on the night of my 21st birthday, that story cracked open. We were sitting in the kitchen after everyone else had gone home. The cake was half eaten, the candles burned down to nothing, and my mother was unusually quiet. I remember laughing about something small, and then I noticed she wasn't laughing with me. She was staring at her hands, turning her wedding ring around her finger the way she always did when she was nervous. "There's something I need to tell you," she said. "And I've waited long enough." My stomach dropped. In my 21 years, my mother had never once said those words to me. She told me that my father, the man I had grown up believing was my biological father, wasn't. She told me that when she was 23, she had been in a relationship that ended before she even knew she was pregnant. She told me she made a choice, alone, terrified, to raise me without telling anyone the full truth, and that the man who raised me, who taught me to ride a bike and walked me down memory lane at every birthday, had chosen to love me as his own without ever making me feel like anything less than his daughter. I sat there frozen. 21 years of birthdays, 21 years of family photos, 21 years of a story I thought I understood, and none of it was what I thought. At first, I felt betrayed. Not by my father, never by him, but by my mother. Why had she waited so long? Why had she let me build my entire identity on something that wasn't the full picture? I wanted to be angry. Part of me was angry. But underneath that anger was something more complicated. Something I didn't have words for yet. My mother started crying, which I had maybe seen twice in my whole life. She told me she wasn't trying to protect a secret for herself. She was trying to protect me from a truth she thought would break something inside me before I was old enough to carry it. She said every year on my birthday she almost told me. And every year she looked at how happy I was, how secure I felt in our family, and she couldn't bring herself to risk it. "I didn't want you to spend your childhood wondering if you were loved enough," she said. "I wanted you to know without question that you were wanted." That night I didn't sleep. I sat on my bed replaying every memory I had, searching for cracks, searching for moments where the truth might have been hiding in plain sight. And the strange thing was, I couldn't find any. Every memory I had of my father was real. Every bedtime story, every scraped knee he bandaged, every time he stayed up late helping me with homework. None of that had been a lie. The love had always been real. Even if the biology wasn't what I assumed. It took me weeks to fully process what my mother told me. I went through stages I didn't expect: grief for a version of my history I thought I had, confusion about my own identity, and eventually, something I didn't anticipate at all, gratitude. I realized my mother had spent over 2 decades carrying a secret alone so that I could grow up feeling whole. She made a decision at 23, scared and unsure, to protect a child she hadn't even met yet. And then she spent every year after that quietly absorbing the weight of that choice, so I wouldn't have to. I used to think strength looked like telling the truth no matter what. Now I understand strength can also look like silence, chosen carefully out of love, even when it costs something. My relationship with my mother changed after that night, but not in the way I expected. We didn't grow distant. We grew closer, in a way that felt more honest than anything before. I finally understood the exhaustion behind some of her quiet moments over the years. The way she sometimes looked at me like she was holding her breath. Now I know what she was holding. If there's one thing I've learned from all of this, it's that our parents are people too, carrying histories and choices we may never fully understand until they choose to hand them to us. Sometimes the truth doesn't erase love. Sometimes it reveals just how deep that love really was. I never expected this from my mother on my 21st birthday. But looking back now, I think it might be the most honest gift she's ever given me.